Hey guys, we are live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and I got a brand new guest for you guys today. I have
What
Martin the
is good, my good
Extraordinaire. How
people?
you doing, bro?
Hey, what's good, man? Appreciate you having me.
Hey man, I appreciate you jumping on to hang out with us today. So, if the people in our audience, if they don't know who you are, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and tell them what it is that you do, bro.
Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Martin Extraordinaire. And if you don't know anything about me, I'm one of the few dumpster rental experts. I teach people how to start and operate a dumpster rental business on all social media platforms, on YouTube, IG, TikTok. So yeah, that's basically like my main focus on how I make everything better, try to make everything better and try to help people get to the next level, try to level up and be the best they can be.
Right, right. The reason I brought Martin on is because you can tell just by talking to him that he's a laid back guy, but he puts that positive energy into the universe. Like he's not hating on other people. He wants other people to be successful. So real quick, tell
Absolutely.
everybody. You told them who you are, tell them where you're from, and tell them what it is that you do. Where did you say you were from again?
Okay, yeah. I'm from the Buckeye State, man. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I think it's the greatest city in the states. Maybe that's my biased opinion, but yeah, I come from Ohio, man. I was born in Kentucky, but I'm from Ohio, and
Really?
mhm.
What
Yeah,
part of
my dad was in
Kentucky
the
were you
army.
from?
Fort Knox, My dad was in the army. I was born on an army base, so
All right.
that's.
All right, cool. Hey, we're live, guys. So I'm gonna say hello real quick to John is here in the chat, and I wanted to say hello to Regina is here. So today's topic of our video is our guest here makes at least 10 grand a month with your dumpster rental business. I was watching your new video, and you just bought out another pre-existing dumpster company. So real quick, tell
Yeah.
everybody how you got into this dumpster business because most of us, we work regular 9 to 5 jobs. So tell people like what you were doing before you jumped into this dumpster rental business and what made it to become like you're like okay, I'm ready to jump in full speed ahead and we'll put both feet into it and this become like my full-time income. So tell people a little bit about your backstory of how you got started.
Yeah, man. So prior to me starting a dumpster rental business, I did like after high school, I did like a year of college. I wasn't really ready for it. I was like I wasn't flunking, but I didn't care. So I was just like, whatever. So a year in, I decided I got a recruiter got a Marine Corps recruiter got a hold to me and kind of just recruited me, kind of like got me and led me, which is one of the best things I ever did in my life. So I joined the Marine Corps in 2008, and I did 4 years. Did a tour to Afghanistan. Did a mule with the on a ship. Traveled all around the world. When I upon getting out, I knew I wanted to get out because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I didn't really want to. I knew like the Marines, like in the military in general, people who do 20, 30 years, those guys and girls, man, they like sleep and like they're thinking about running. Especially in the Marine Corps, you're thinking about getting up for formation, and it's just in you. And I didn't have that drive, so I'm like, I'm not about to cheat them and doing and just get out. My higher ups, they were like, man, if you stay in, and we're gonna promote you. They wanted me to stay in. I was just like, nah, it's time for me to do something. It's like, oh man, you crazy, man. You're not gonna make it out there, man. It's bad out there, because it's kind of around the time of a little bit after the recession of '08, '09, and things were looking kind of bleak. But I knew, man, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I couldn't be a career military guy. So this is a funny story. I told the story like a couple times on my channel. I think I probably got it in my ebook as well. I took my family down to this here in Columbus. We got I'm pretty sure a lot of cities got like it's like a festival. It was a jazz and rib festival here in Columbus.
Yeah.
2013. I just got out that summer, and I'm up there and I see this guy with these dumpsters. I didn't know. It was just crazy how I don't know what it's just something came over me. I went up to the guy and I was like, "Hey man," I was like, "What is this?" And he was just like, "Yeah, man, I got a contract with this festival. I bring up these dumpsters, and once they fill these dumpsters up, I go dump them and bring it right back, and I get paid on every dump." And I was just like, "Wow," you know what I'm saying? Because of course, I think a lot of people hear about real estate and you hear about making money on buying properties and renting them out. But like I looked at dumpsters and that same thing. I'm like, man, instead of being a real estate guy, man, I can just treat these dumpsters like real estate, but I can get paid more and I can get paid more frequently. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of sparked it. End up going to college, finished, got my bachelor's in business, started my MBA. I dropped out of two MBA programs. I used to call myself the MBA dropout. And
Right.
started a cleaning service. That was pretty good. Got my feet wet with that. Then I was one day I was just in my rack. I was in my bed, and I went on OfferUp. That's when OfferUp was popping. OfferUp is kind of trash now. No, it is offense. But and I seen this trailer for sale. It was like for $1,100, and I was like, wow. And you know what I'm saying? So I reached out to the guy. I had a little bit of money. I didn't quite have. Matter of fact, I think it was like 1,500. I only had like 1,100, but I was scared. I was like, man, I don't know if this is for me. So I was playing. I was texting them. You know how people do. You ever sold something on OfferUp or sold something on Craigslist, and then you get those people who just always come in every few days asking you all these questions about it. I was doing that to him, and I told myself, I said, man, I said, if this dumpster here, like, it was like about a week later, I said, if this dumpster's still on here, man, I'm getting it. So what I did was I wanted to test the market first, and that's what I teach. I teach anybody, everybody I mentor, anybody who reads my books in my course, it's all in there, because it's certain areas, any area you can have a dumpster rental business. But I put a simple ad. I didn't have one. I ain't have one dumpster. I put the ad on Craigslist saying I got dumpsters, and I was getting calls the same day, no lie. And so
Right.
I was I was like telling them, oh, I don't got none available. But this one guy was like interested. He's like, yeah, I need like a 15-yard here. And I had it like for $250. So I'm like, man, so that forced me to buy my first dumpster for $1,100. And the next day I rented it. And that's when I started with one, and something just lit up in me, man. And I started doing. I was just thinking about getting more dumpsters. I got to get more dumpsters, more dumpsters. So
Right.
every rental I got, I was either putting 100% back, or like putting half back because I had bills and stuff. But I was like driving for Uber. I was doing moving because I was thinking about getting more dumpsters. So and I quit my job. I was a store manager after college, and that really taught me a lot. So I tell people this
Right.
a lot of times: there's nothing wrong, especially if you want to be a business owner, if you got an opportunity to work in like a management position. Because I had a whole store where I was going over. I was in charge of profit and loss. I was in charge of hiring and firing. I was in charge of all the operations. So that really helped me when I started my business, and when I went full fledged. That 2-year experience that I had really kind of helped me,
Right.
to get to it just fast tracked me. I didn't have a lot of growing pains, when it came to that, understanding my profits, understanding my losses, understanding my
Right.
expenses, understanding my revenues, understanding my goals, what I want to make. Um, so yeah, I got that first dumpster, man, and hey, I haven't looked back since. That was like 2016.
Right. A couple things I wanted to touch on real quick is that, being in the military for 20 years and retiring ain't for everybody. I was too big. When I wanted to get in the military, according to your height, you got to be a certain weight to get in. And, they don't have
Yeah.
too many 350-pound dudes walking around the base. So I didn't meet the weight. But my brother and sister was in, and my sister was in the Coast Guard, and my brother was in the Navy. And they got out. My sister got out because she was like, hey, I can't be in the military, doing 2 days on and 2 days off. I don't get to see
Right.
my kids. Somebody else is raising my kids. So, that's
Yeah.
important. And I wanted to bring up something that you said about side hustling. Like you said, you was driving for Uber and doing these other side gigs because people will message me like, man, I want to start a business, but I don't have the money. I'm like, well, go get it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been out
Right.
here side hustling, doing Amazon Flex, taking that money and put it into a separate savings account. So that way in
Hmm.
6 months or a year, you have 20, 30 grand in there. Now you have some money. You can start making some moves and put it into a business. It doesn't have to be a dumpster rental business. It can be whatever,
Anything.
but at least you have that seed capital to invest in your business. And something else I wanted to touch on real quickly is that there's a lot of real estate investors that buy, rental properties, and they will go $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 in debt to buy this rental property, knowing that after the time they pay their property taxes, their insurance, maintenance on the property, and all this stuff after the tenant pays their rent. They may only,
Mhm.
scratch off $250, $300 a month that they have
Yeah.
left over after they pay all their expenses, and they're
Mhm.
they're they're on the hook dealing with zoning board, property taxes, the roof leaking, the hot water tank going out. With your business, you spent $1,100, $1,200 and bought
My
this
first one.
dumpster, and then you own the
Mhm.
dumpster and you're able to rent it out to clients over and over and over again. So tell everybody your story when you first bought this dumpster, because you said you already had a client lined up to rent this dumpster out before you bought it. So if I came there
Yeah.
today, because it may cost more than $1,200 today, but let's say hypothetically I got
Well.
1,500 or 2,000, whatever it is, and I wanted to
Mhm.
get my dumpster business started. How much money could I realistically make in my first month renting it out, hypothetically, in your mind?
Well, I got a strategy. If you got to dump it, always I tell my students, always try to, if you're gonna get started, you only got enough money for one. At least try to save up for at least a dumpster that you can rent out for at least over $250, 270. And then like if you live in like in New York, or you live in Cali, or you live in Florida, you live in like these high expensive areas, these people, I mean, my dumpster here, my 16 yard, I rent out for $280 for 3 days. But if I go to New York, that same 16 yard, I can rent out for 400 because the landfill prices there. If you got a piece of paper, they start at $160
Really?
per ton. Like if you come with a piece of paper and throw it away, you owe $160. So, well, and I teach too, like you got to put that cost on the customer. And in those areas, they already know the price. You know, this is a higher price. You got to, if you want a dumpster, you got to spend more. Um, but with your going off your question, I get a little off sometimes, man, because I love talking
It's
about
cool.
this.
It's cool. It's all right. It's laid back. It's kind of we do this live. So if I got some money together, let's say I got 1,500, 2,000, and I wanted to get started in this dumpster rental business, how much money could I realistically make in my first month or my first 2, 3 months? Like how long would it take me to break even? So if I came to you and I said, hey, I got, let's just say $2,000 and I bought this dumpster, how long will it take
Mhm,
me to break even? And how much money do you think you could realistically make per month? Because you said you could rent it out for 2, 3 days. You go pick the dumpster up, haul it off to
mhm,
the dump or whatever, dump it, and you come back and now you got a clean slate and you can rent that dumpster out again. So tell everybody
mhm.
your strategy and tell them like realistically how much you can make in a month off of one dumpster.
Yeah, so one dumpster, my target has always been $2,000 per month. And like I said, and I go by the 250 and up. So if you start at the minimum, renting your dumpster out for $250, you can rent it out for twice a week at 3 days each. Now, you can make even more. I'll go over that too, but like $2,000, $500 a week should be your target. And it's a numbers game with dumpsters. I just had a guy kind of try to make a little video about me, and saying like, oh, people selling, but I'm like, bro, this is all a numbers game. As long as you got the right information, you know how to do the marketing. When I got in, it wasn't a lot of people, it wasn't that much people doing it. Still not. It's still a blue ocean. So you can still realistically get one dumpster. You rent it out twice a week, but I'm the home of the 1 day rentals. So if I got one dumpster, like when I first started, I was making more than $2,000 a month on the dumpsters because I utilized doing 1 day rentals. So with 1 day rentals, instead of having 3 day rental periods, I'm having 1 day rental periods. So if I'm doing that full time, I can realistically rent it out 3 to 4 times and double my money in a week.
Right.
You
When
know what
you
I'm
say
saying?
1 day rental, it almost sounds like somebody, paying to stay in a hotel room for the night. And then the hotel room maitre d' comes in and cleans it out, cleans the bed sheet, puts some new towels in, and then rent that room out again the very next day. So that's what you was
Only
looking
the
at
one
it. But
day
you're
rental.
saying realistically, if you wanted to, you could go spend 2 grand on a dumpster and you make your money back within the first month. If
Well,
you could, if you wanted to, right?
I, that I'll tell you this. Information is important. So some with my area, I can do that because I just looked on Facebook Marketplace and I see I have a 10 yard. I can buy it, but I don't know if I want to buy it. But he has it for sale for like $1,200. Um, but that's for using a chain and skid system that I can use here in Columbus in Ohio. Now, certain places like say Idaho, or I got people in Oklahoma, their area may not have uh, chain and skid. So if they're watching me and they're trying to get the same dumpster as me, you don't want to be at the landfill when you dump the trash, hand up hand unloading. So it's important that you know what type of dumpsters that you need. So if you live in certain areas, you may need a roll off dumpster starting out. You may need a dump trailer. I hate dump trailers, but you may need that now. So prices vary. So I go by your area and what type of dumpsters you need. And of course, with the hydraulic dumpster, because if your landfill doesn't do pull-offs, you're gonna need a hydraulic dumpster. So I will say now in our day and age, being realistic, and let's just say you already have a truck already, so you don't got to worry about that expense. If you already got a truck, you don't the equipment that you will need like a tarp, bungees, you can start with like a battery pack, electric air compressor to pump up your tires when they go flat because they will go flat. Um, Realistically, I'll say if you can't use my type of dumpsters, $5,000 to $10,000. Or I found a dump trailer. I got a dump trailer that I got for 4,500. So it really varies. So I've been being careful about that because I think people are taking advantage of the we're still like in a pandemic, post pandemic, about people taking advantage of like steel prices. Everybody's want to charge more. A dumpster that I could have bought brand new built 2-3 years ago was $2,800, and now it's $6,500, right? So it's inflation and stuff. It's a lot of different factors now, but I will say, if you're in a good area like mine's, you can start if you already got a truck with $2,000. But
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna hit you with quick hits. I got a list of questions here for you. You guys know how to do it. So if you guys in the chat, if you have questions for our guests, drop it in the chat. But I'm asking you as a newbie, as somebody who doesn't have experience in the game. So the first question I have for you is, what type of junk removal do you need? Because there's different sizes of, there's different sizes of dumpsters that are out there, right? So how do you know what size you need starting out?
Well, like I say, I always tell people to start with like a 15-yard or bigger. And the main reason why is if you get like a 7 or 10 yard, if a customer calls you and say, "Oh, I need a 20 yard, I need like a 15 yard," you have to rent it to them twice. You really can't help them. But if you have a 15 yard or bigger, and a customer calls you say, I just need a 10 yard," you'd be like, "Oh, well, I got a 15 yard. I used to draw a line to where it's like a 10 yarder. I can make it a 10 yarder," and I'm like, "Just you can't fill it up past this line." So that's why I say that, just so you can service more people. And then if people, it's so crazy because if somebody need a 20 yard, I give them 2 10s. Somebody need a 30 yard. I don't got 30 yards. My largest dumpsters are 16 yards, but I sell 20 yards. I sell 30 yards. They just get 2 15s or they get 2 10s. So it's all about how you present yourself, how you brand yourself.
Right. And so what type of, if somebody doesn't have a truck, what kind of truck would they need? Because you can't just, I mean, your main job is you're showing up, dropping the dumpster off, and then you got to, when it's full, you're picking it back up. So what kind of truck does somebody need in this business?
Diesel trucks are the best. Now the only thing with diesel, they're good for hauling. Of course, they can haul the most, but it's hard when you have breakdowns because you're using these trucks every single day. I found in my experience with having it's just for some reason it's like everybody can't work on diesel trucks. But if you're going to start, I always tell my people, start with a 2,500 or better, like a 6 liter engine or better, and you always want to check your tow capacity. So if I started out bad, I had a 2011 Dodge Ram, 5.7 liter Hemi, and my tow capacity was probably like 8,000. But then you starting out, and I'm trying to get these jobs, so I'm getting got because I'm saying yes to everybody because I'm trying to just I'm trying to trying to get as much sales as possible, and I'm hauling like 12,000 pounds sometimes because I'm not. People like, oh, I don't know how heavy dirt is at the time. I didn't know about how heavy roof shingles was at the time, and so you got to just make sure. I'll say 2,500 F250 or greater, but always check your tow capacity and always know the weight of your trailer, and go accordingly. But a diesel, of course, will be like a 6.7 liter engine, or 7.3 is always the best. 450s and F350s is always the way to go. Even though I hate Fords, I hate to say hate, but it's a part of
Right.
life.
Okay. Now we got to talk real quick about pricing because there's always somebody that's going to leave a comment in the comment section. You know, the Monday morning quarterbacks. So they'll always leave something in the comment section talking about, well, what about gas prices? What about,
Mhm.
labor costs? What about dump fees? So let's say hypothetically you have a dumpster. In your illustration, you bought a dumpster, let's say for $1,200 or $1,100, and you
Mhm.
started renting it out. How much money? Let's just say in a month, how much money do you think that you can make gross in a month off of that one dumpster? And then you have to subtract, let's say, your repair costs, your fuel costs, and then your dump fees. So after that's all said and done, how much you think if somebody was just getting started or doing it as a side hustle and they invested in one dumpster, what do you think that they'd be able to make as far as the pricing goes?
Well, I will say this: 2016, 2017 was a lot different, right? With the
Right.
gas and everything going up in price. So, but for today, I would say you can make more because you got to make more. So, I just made if you go on my YouTube channel, Martin Extraordinaire, I just made a video about this, talking about the rising gas prices and how it's time to start raising prices. Only because if these gas, everybody's raising prices, so that's why it's forcing other businesses to. So if um if if beef is going up in price and McDonald's has a contract with the farm, and I mean, of course, if the beef that they're getting for our burgers is going up, they gotta that gives them incentive to, or they have to raise their price. So if gas is going up because you're doing this business, your number one place you're gonna be is in your truck. The drop offs is quick. The drop off is probably like 10 to 15 minutes max. So the majority of your time spent doing a dumpster rental business will be inside of your truck, right? So that's why I even teach on mental health about it, about having listening to people like you, listening to people who's motivating, motivational, inspirational people, because the majority of the time you're gonna be in your truck. So of course you're gonna be spending a lot of money on gas and the time that we living in. So you got to raise them prices up, and you got to account for that. I got a 25-mile radius. Anything out of my 25-mile radius, I have to charge you 75 to $150 to deliver a dumpster, and people understand because everybody else prices is going up and gas is ridiculous.
Yeah, one of the things that you
$200
talk about,
going
one of the things that you talk about on your YouTube channel and Instagram, you talk a lot about is continuously learning things. And because you guys got to be learning stuff all the time, not just you graduated high school or college and you're like, I got this diploma, I'm good. You got to be learning about new things all the time. So let's talk about how much capital you need to get started real quick. We talked about that earlier briefly, but tell people how much money they need to get started in the dumpster business.
So if you don't have anything, like you don't have a truck, you don't have no knowledge about doing this, you don't have any dumpsters, realistically, start with one dumpster because you can start with one dumpster, of course, if you could do 1 day rentals, and you can also if you can do junk removal as well, with your dumpsters when they're not being rented out. So it's so many different things you can use your dumpster for. But realistically, without a truck, man, the prices is just so different now. If you get like a used truck, let's just say you get like a 20. I had like 4 or 5 Chevy 2500 HD fuel trucks. So let's just say
Right.
they haul about 10 to 12,000 pounds. So let's say you start with that. You can get I just seen when I was looking at one on I always look at trucks. I'm always searching for things just in case, because you always need it. So I was looking up trucks. I think I seen like one for about like under 200,000 miles, probably for about $6,000, right? And depending on what type of dumpster you have, I'll say $10,000 to if you want to start on one dumpster and you know how to haggle a little bit, you can talk down some prices. And another thing I talk about in the on too, if you don't have rich parents, you don't have any family members to help you out, it's really important for people who come from nothing, people who come from a place where I come from, where I can't really just go and ask if something happened to me, it's on me, right? I can't call nobody and be like, hey, I need to borrow. And I'm just like a spoiled kid. I'm like, well, I know if I can go to the bar and buy everybody a drink for $2,000 because I know I can call my mom and dad. And they gonna pay my rent. They're gonna pay all my living expenses. If you don't got that, definitely want to leverage your credit, right? And not talking about going shopping. not talking about blowing it. But that's what most rich people, unless you listen to Dave Ramsey, no shots at Dave Ramsey, bro. Leverage the credit. I mean, if you're gonna use the bank's money to make more money, that's a no-brainer, and that's all just having your credit in order. So that's why I say that, just because it's gonna be a cost, to start. So you're looking at about $10,000 and up if you have nothing. If you're just starting from scratch, you don't even know how to back up a trailer because information costs money. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you. So, how do you go about getting customers? I know you said you advertised on Craigslist, but how do people go about getting customers for their business? Because if someone's like, "Hey, man, I got a pickup truck already. I went out and
Mhm.
spent, let's say, some money, and I got a trailer. I got a dumpster trailer. But how do I get
Mhm.
clientele? How do I go about attracting customers?"
Well, Craigslist was one of my beginning strategies. It's still, I could probably average about a few a week on Craigslist, because I probably do like one post on there today. But honest, it's Google. You know what I'm saying? Google is king, and also for me, for my specific business, for my specific niche, I offer all my students guarantee leads in my course, in my Dumpster Millionaire course. I offer guarantee leads. I got companies who send guarantee leads to them day one when they get their dumpster. So you know, but Google is king. If you just want to get your website, get your SEO in order, and do pay per click on Google, you're gonna get some calls. Now, are you gonna close those calls? I don't know. It's all about this information and knowledge. It's really what it starts with. It's all a mindset. So what I mean. But of course, Google is king, because even the companies that gives free leads, they're on Google. And I've been really tapping into. I've been sleep. I can't believe I've been sleeping on Facebook marketing, um, Instagram marketing for a while. Like I've been doing that with like my course and like with my branding, my personal branding. But like with my
Right.
business, it's I've been really tapping into social media. I've been buying ebooks, courses on really how to master that. But that's another thing. As long as you got to just know how to target. What I mean, you got to know how to target. If you target right, people who's looking for that, because the algorithm follows everybody. You go on Google and you look up, say you look up hot dog cart on Google, and as soon as you go on Facebook, you're gonna see advertising for hot dog carts,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah,
If somebody's
I rented a dumpster before, and I just went on Craigslist and looked for one because back in the day
Mhm,
I had a garage, and it was like a 3 car garage, and I wanted to rent out the garage, but it was full of junk, so I had to get all the junk out of the garage, throw it in the
uh-huh,
dumpster to have it cleaned out, and then I went ahead and rented out each one of those garages just like a little storage unit. So it's all
mhm.
in your brain. It's the way that you look at it. So my
Yeah,
last
it's smart.
question I have for you is about hiring and scaling your business. So I watched one of your YouTube videos, and you were saying if you had 5 dumpsters, hypothetically, and they were all rented out, you could make like $3,500 a week. So that to me got me
Mhm,
interested because I'm like, man, where can you go if you're somebody like me? If you're a college dropout, you don't have the PhD or the MBA on the wall. Where else can you go to
mhm.
make 3,500 a week? You got to be a business owner. So talk about that real quick about as far as how somebody can go from 0 to 3,500 a week, and you have any tips or anything advice as far as scaling your business?
Yeah, and that's what I'm tapping into a lot too. A lot of my content on YouTube has changed because I'm not in my truck anymore, right? I have two drivers. I have a marketing team behind me. So a lot of my content has changed because I'm not on the day-to-day anymore, which is good because I would want to I mean, if I'm starting a business, I will want to know and learn from somebody who can go to Sacramento tomorrow, and the business still on remote control, right? So so with the scaling, it's really about getting a person. I like to get people who's knowledgeable. So like my drivers, they're good at fixing trucks, like they understand mechanical, and that's just me. I would say get somebody who already has knowledge on trailers. Somebody like me, I didn't grow up with learning how to back up my dad's trailer. My dad didn't have trailers to back up, so I had to learn everything. But I had to teach myself. But with my drivers, I make sure that I'm hiring the people, the type of people who kind of have experience in doing this. Not necessarily dumpster rentals, but just working on cars and doing stuff like that. And once you get the people, once you get your people, that's how you grow. Because me by myself, I can do the max I can do in a day is 3 to 4 dumpsters. And at four, if I'm doing 4 dumpsters a day, which is me as a driver, me having to answer the phone, me having to do my marketing, me having to do everything, bro, at 4 dumpsters, I'm burnt out. And I got an
Bro,
attitude when I come home. I don't see my kids. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
I kind of ran a
there
little
ain't
bit.
nothing but there ain't nothing but 24 hours in a day, bro. So you can burn the candle at both ends if you want
Bro,
to, but there's only 24 hours in a day, right?
I told you driving. I can get up at 6 in the morning, go to my yard. If I got 4 dumpsters, every single time I timed it, I'm not finishing until rush hour traffic. You know what I'm saying? So,
For sure, for sure. Hey, let me give a shout out real quick to everybody in the chat. I wanted to say hello to Harry. He says, Martin, do it while you're young. I wanted to give a shout out to Kevin Vasquez Reyes is here in the chat. John is here, says $6,000 is way cheaper than I thought. I want to give a shout out to my buddy BK from the Rockies is here in the chat. Flip the World is here, and I wanted to say hey to Regina. So,
what's up, baby?
so tell everybody what would be your top 3 tips or piece of advice that you could give somebody into this dumpster rental business if they're interested in getting started? What's your top 3 pieces of advice you got for them?
I mean, number one is get the watch or read the information and act on it. A lot of people, I sold over what, 6,000 books, and out of that 6,000, probably only 200, 300 people probably actually started, doing it, being successful. So I would say number one, when you got something in your heart and you really, you want to do it, once you get the information, once the seed is planted, water that plant, put some sunlight on it and just go after it. Another thing is consistency. I mean, like doing this type of business is very hard. When you're in the rain, if you live in a colder area, when in the wintertime, stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's not going right, when a customer don't want to, when you deliver 4 dumpsters to a customer who is a regular, and then they just disappear, right? Lost like over $1,000 as a little company with like 3 dumpsters. Needed that money, working my butt off, paying their dump fees, and dude didn't pay me. Persistent, knowing like, okay, just can't give up. I mean, people give up at that point. So just being consistent, persistent, not giving up. And I will say for my last one, uh, man, learn. Learn the numbers. Um, keep your goals. Have your goals in front of you. Have them written down in your phone or in your truck. Because when you have goals, you know where you want to go. You have a destination in set. So for me, if I want 150 dumpsters, if I'm looking at that, that kind of can make it, your goals. Setting goals will have you wanting to go hard to reach it. And after you reach them goals, set new ones. So basically, man, just learn every day and stay consistent.
Right. Okay. So tell everybody, we briefly talked real quick. You said you have a book and a course you have available. I have all the links down below. But let them know what you offer the people in the book and the course if they're just remotely interested or they want to get to know more about this business.
Yeah, so my ebook is actually a package because I'm an audio learner. So I was like, man, let me do an ebook and let me have somebody author it. So I got an ebook audiobook package. It's entitled 8 Steps to $1 Million Dumpster Rental Business. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory. The 8 steps I go over is everything that you will need to start on a beginner scale, right? And the reason why and the course is it was recently named the dumpster rental business course. I just named it the dumpster millionaire course or the dumpster millionaire university. The main reason because of mindset, man. I want people to be thinking bigger. I want it to be thinking on a larger scale. And what I offer in there is better than what I could do one on one for a person. Videos with myself talking about everything. My links are crazy, like just like I said, with the guaranteed dumpster leads. Day one, when you get your dumpster, I go in depth about what type of trucks. I go in depth about what type of dumpsters you need for your area. I go in depth about where to store your dumpsters. I go in depth about different marketing techniques, guerrilla marketing, riding, going, looking at if you got house renovations going on, stopping to
Yeah.
those companies. having brochures for them, giving them cards, different networking opportunities. It's just a plethora of things in depth. And I also got a finance guy, can help you get some dumpsters if you don't got the funds right now. Because a lot of us, we don't come from wealth. We don't come from parents who can just, get us a buy us. I know no shade. I know a guy here in my city. He just this dad bought him a dumpster franchise. They booming, but I'm like, what I'm saying, that's a blessing. I don't hate on that. That's a blessing, but
I, I hear you, man. Yeah, if I
I
was
don't
to
hate
call
on
one
it,
of
bro.
my relatives that said I need some money to buy a business, that would get hung
I,
up on real quick. So,
yeah,
because
I
I
don't hate on
understand,
silver spoon.
right?
You know what? I don't hate on silver spoon kids because my kids gonna be silver spoon kids. But it's a point, and if they want to do something, I want to be
Yeah.
that parent who can help them fund their dreams, so they ain't gotta go to no bank, they ain't gotta go to no credit. You know what I'm saying?
I,
But
I
go
I'm
ahead. I'm
with you,
sorry.
man. So I got the book and the course and everything linked down below. The reason why I like your business model is because you only have to go buy the dumpster one time. You don't have to go, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to go buy 10 of them. You could just get started with one dumpster and think about it almost as if you had a rental property, or let's say you had a duplex and you lived in one side of the duplex and you rented the other side out. You could buy this dumpster one time and then rent it out month after month after month after month after month. So it ain't
Crazy.
like it's not passive income, but just think about it like once you buy this dumpster and you own it, you can rent it out over and over and over again. It's almost like somebody who owns a rental car and they rent out their rental car on Toro, except you're doing it with the dumpster business. And it's almost like instead of having a tenant living in your property, you have this
Mhm.
dumpster. And like you said, you can put it out on a 3 day, rental, go pick it up, dump it, clean the dumpster off and wipe it off just like you would in a hotel room, and then boom, turn around and rent it out again. John says, so I'm guessing 100K in this would be a better return than real estate. Hey, let's talk about
You
that.
you get 100K, man, doing dumpsters, man. You like that's like having a million, man. I mean, if I had 100K starting out, I would definitely be at like five. If I had 2016, if I had access to $100 million, I'm sorry, to $100,000, I would definitely be at like 5 million a year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well, Martin said earlier in the video that you could probably get a dumpster for around 2,000, and he said you can make your 2,000 back in the first month. Now, if you were going to go put that $2,000, let's say you put that as a down payment, and you were going to buy a house as a rental property or something, how long would it take you to get all your money back and get to the break even point? He's telling you
Mhm.
could get the break even point within your first month or two, and he's going to help you get leads and get clientele right out the gate. So I appreciate you jumping on and hanging out with us. Before we let you go, Martin, you got to tell everybody where they can follow you out on YouTube and Instagram if they want to learn more, but let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. Martin Extraordinaire. If you go in on any social media platform, YouTube, Martin Extraordinaire, Instagram, Martin underscore extraordinaire. But if you put in Martin Extraordinaire, I should pop up. Hopefully, there's no fake accounts out there. There's some couple fake accounts, but just
I,
you know, you'll
I
see the
already
real one.
know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And TikTok has been really good for me lately. It's actually like my biggest following platform. I like it just because the shorter videos, but I got a lot of value on there. It's quick value.
right.
Just for people who's interested in this. So yeah, just check them all out, man. And my whole thing is just adding value, man. Value on value on value on value, man. That's
Right.
the key to it.
That's what we try to do on YouTube. Me and you both try to add value. So we got a quick question in the chat says, "What would you do with 100K now?" So tell them about your story. You recently bought out another dumpster company business recently. So tell everybody about your plans and your growth and your expansion for your business. What you got going on? Because I want people to know what's possible. Not that you're flexing or bragging about yourself, but just that people know what's possible in this business.
Yeah, man. I mean, this has been has been big corporations since the beginning of time. If you ever see like PNC merging with other banks, really they're just joining. You already got a customer base, so why would I start from scratch in a different area, different market, when you can just get in networking with other dumpster rental companies and seeing their plans? I'm like, hey man, maybe we should join forces, or you should just let me buy you out. So that's what I'm kind of been on lately. Like I said, I'm out of my truck. Um, so I'm turning my business people talk about corporate America, but I don't. I want to build a corporate. I want corporate. I want my company to be corporate. I don't want to be mom and pop. And I know the
Yeah.
fastest way to do that is by buying other companies, buying other dumpster rental companies in my area. Not only do you kill the competition, but you get dumpsters at discounts, especially with
Right.
steel prices now. You know, it's the best way to go. But yeah, that's all on my YouTube channel. I go kind of. I just think I just dropped one earlier today.
Yeah, I
Talking
watched
about.
it.
Okay, I
So
appreciate that.
yeah, you got to think about it. If he was going to go have some of these dumpsters built brand new versus buying ones that's already been built that may be 5 or 10 years old, but he gets all the clientele that goes with it. Just like somebody had a landscaping business and they had 30 clients of people's yards that they cut every month. He was like, "Hey, I have this clientele of people that come with it. So not only am I buying the dumpsters at a discounted rate, but you're getting the clientele with it. It's almost like somebody was to buy a vending machine route that was already in existence. You're not just buying the machine, you're buying the location that comes with that machine, and it's already locked up. But anyways, man, hey,
Exactly.
I appreciate you jumping on. I told him that we were going to try to keep you on for around 30 to 45 minutes, but we've had a good time hanging out, so we went a little bit over time. But do you have any final
Appreciate
words of
you, man.
wisdom that you can leave our audience with, and then we'll let you go, bro?
Yeah, man. Learn every day and stay consistent, man. Whatever you learn and you want to do it, just don't lose that hunger that you had when you first heard it. Remember why you started. But learn every day and stay consistent. Learn every day and stay consistent.
All right, guys. Yeah, go follow our guests. All the links are down below. Martin Extraordinaire. Follow him on YouTube and Instagram. If you want to check out his book or his course, I have a link down below as well. So if you want to go by, you can check him out. At least you can go check out his YouTube channel, and he's got a lot of free knowledge and free game that he can, point you in the right direction and help you get started if this is something you want to do. And my thing is, guys, whether you want to go get started in a dumpster rental business or some other kind of business, just take action. Just get started. Don't be scared to, you sitting back and just taking it easy and say, well, maybe I'll wait for another 6 months from now. Just get started now. Take action while you can. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. You go ahead and follow our guest, Martin Extraordinaire. All the links are down below. I appreciate you jumping on and hanging out with me. And I want to thank everybody in the
Appreciate
chat
you,
for
man.
hanging out. And we will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great day. Bye, guys.
Thank you.